Let me be carried and light, day after day. No hesitation, confident, big-willed and open towards your purpose. Let me be lion and light.
When I was running over to go downstairs, I saw one of my friends and he was just like, "You gotta go down there, it's so good." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "But be careful, there's a line."
Waiting and waiting, and you were anxious to see what's in there.
Any second, the door was going to open and audience members were going to come in, and I just took a breath and I was like, okay, it's done. And a few seconds later, the door is open and I see a few people that I know coming into the space. And then I just hear a ricochet of voices in the space. And there it was, the audience and the performers found each other. So I hear, "Hey, I don't know much about you." Then 5 seconds later, "Hey, I don't know much about you." A second later, "Hey, I don't know much about you."
What happens when we translate from one mode of communication to another? What's gained and or lost in that translation?
I cannot move my words if I am not my word. I cannot move my words if you are not my force.
Honesty allows communication to happen, as simple as it sounds. My role was waiting for people to come into the backspace and receive them with a poem. I was a performer, and I would perform for one person or two persons at a time for 2 to 3 hours.
The entire show was about like receiving some form of like self and different levels of that.
I just remember there being this amazing feeling, this aura in the space that I never expected, this feeling of peace.
We couldn't have done that alone. It had to have been the performers in the space with the photographs.
The photographs were so realistic. Just had the separation between me and those people there. And then when I saw a person being framed, it's like art just makes people the subject behind the frame. It's really shocking. I couldn't get over the shock, so I went with them on the frame, inside of the frame. And I think it was a nice experience just to be like, well, I can be inside of this artwork and I can go through that surface and go into their world.
Big-willed and open towards your purpose. Let me be lion and light, day after day. God, don't let my voice forget me. day